High on a hill in Bourne, crews are hard at work expanding the Cape's only landfill. 18,000 tons of trash per year from Bourne and Falmouth end up here, along with 180,000 tons of combustion ash from the Covanta Seamass waste-to-energy facility in nearby Rochester. A thick layer of clay is being smoothed out to line the new Phase 6 landfill. The entire project will be complete in early 2020. Once open, it'll take only 4 years to fill. This impermeable clay comes to Cape Cod from Boston and is just one of several layers of protection built into the new landfill.
What we've done here is basically excavated a large part of this area. It's approximately 7 acres. We've excavated out about 500,000 yards of material, of sand. And what we do is bring clay back in. We will line that 7 acres with a foot of clay. All this clay is extensively tested, and when it's put down, it's tested for compaction, it's tested for permeability, and then we put a number of various liner components on top of that.
Liner components, clay, and sand will be put in place to trap water so that nothing gets through to the groundwater.
There's 5 liner components, geosynthetic components that go down, and then there's 18 inches of sand on top of that. On top of that goes 5 feet of what we call select layer, and select layer is a 3-inch minus layer that is laid down to basically make sure that we don't penetrate the sand into the liner with anything that may put a hole in the liner. And we'll lay that down in 5 feet, and then we'll fill trash up from there. It doesn't allow water to travel through it very quickly. It's very slow. As a matter of fact, it holds water. And it basically allows us to measure anything that might get through the top layer into one of the lower layers. And there's a number of impermeable components below that. Ultimately, we test the groundwater wells to monitor and make sure nothing is getting into the groundwater, because that's exactly what we don't want to do.
All water in the landfill is collected, tested, and then sent out to a wastewater treatment facility in Middleborough.
The primary goal of what we're doing here is to collect everything, any of the rainwater. We've got 7 acres that's open for this particular cell is 4 years. It'll be open to the elements for 4 years while we're filling it. And the water percolates through the landfill and produces what we call leachate. The leachate, we actually used our liner to collect the leachate. It gets funneled down to a low point. We pump it out of here where it goes to sewage treatment plants. And we can produce as much leachate as 30 or 40,000 gallons a day. So we need to collect all that water, make sure it doesn't get past the liner.
Gases that form while trash breaks down are also collected.
Other than the groundwater wells, we monitor gas here. We collect all the gas. So once we build the landfill, we drill a number of gas extraction wells. We call them vertical gas extraction wells. They hook up to a blower here, and we monitor those wells every couple weeks, and we adjust them to make sure that we're pulling hard enough where we take the gas out of the landfill and burn it. We have very strict emissions requirements here that we need to meet. So we're constantly monitoring our emissions, our gas flow, and we're constantly monitoring any possible nuisance conditions around the landfill. So we don't affect any of the surrounding areas.
Environmental safety is a must with a project like this.
That 4 years we're building up the landfill. Once we get to the top, we cap it, and the idea is no rainwater in, no rainwater out. And it takes a couple of years for the leachate to percolate out. That's inherently in the trash, and that's been added by the elements over the course of the life of the cell. But the idea is to collect everything here. We don't want anything to leach into the groundwater to work its way outside of the landfill.
Work on Phase 6 of the Bourne Landfill project is expected to be complete in early 2020. In Bourne, for Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.